talk a little bit about the money. This is an actual case study, and I like to share this because this is an example that you could do. This is a client that I stumbled upon. In fact, it wasn't even me that stumbled upon it. One of my students from a previous course ran into this client at a trade show. Went up, started talking to them. They were friendly. They had a really interesting product. And she started talking to them about Amazon. And they said, oh, we're on Amazon. And she said, oh, really? Well, how are you doing there? And they said, well, not too good. We're selling, maybe 40 units a month. And she introduced them to me. She was kind of a bird dog in this situation. So I didn't know this client. And I partnered with them in July, right at the beginning of July. I made no investment of any money. And guess what? Within 30 days, we were just cranking along. 60 days, it was going better than that. And by the time we were at the 3-month mark, sales had eclipsed 480 units a month. And I wasn't doing anything super special. I just made a few changes that this client didn't know about. Things that I had learned from my previous experience. Things that you already know how to do. This was a product that sold for $54 retail. Actually, a little higher than what most people normally target. But do the math. A $54 product selling 480 units, that's $25,920 a month. Now, this is not rocket science, but a good percentage of profits, just like what I'm going to show you, could be going into your pocket. Let's look at the actual number. Okay, 480 units retailing a month at $54 each. That equals $25,920. If you take out roughly 21%, which Amazon keeps, that leaves the client with $20,477. If you multiply that times 25%, and you're probably thinking, well, what's that? That's the portion that the partner or the client pays me for my services, 25%. That equals $5,119 a month. Now that's not something to laugh about. But guess what? The next month we're selling more. We're selling 600 units now. Now there were some changes. In fact, they moved the price from $54 down to $48. And so the numbers change a little bit, but let's take a look at it. Now we're selling $28,800 a month. We still take out the 21%, which is Amazon's share. That leaves the client $22,752. Let's calculate how much they're going to pay me. 25%, they send me a check for $5,688. Hey, pretty good, huh? But it's not over. Oh no. The next month, we do 800 units. So let's do the math again. We're still selling at $48 a month times 800 units. That's $38,400 a month coming in. Amazon keeps roughly 21%, so that means the client gets $30,336, and the 25% that the client sends me, that equals $7,584. Pretty neat, huh? Kind of makes you think that Bert and Ernie thing works. But guess what? All good things have to come to an end. But if you're prepared and if you do this right, hey, sometimes the end just turns into a bonus. I had this client call me up and they said, Dan, we have to tell you, we love working with you. You've turned us around so much on Amazon that, our board of advisors can't even, believe it. But our company is going through some changes. I'm not sure exactly what the changes were. Maybe it had something to do with their board, or maybe they're merging or selling, or who knows. Maybe they have a new upper management. But they decided that they did not any longer want to have me help them with their Amazon business. And I said, oh, that's okay. Let's just take a look at the agreement that we agreed on up front. I have an exit clause in there. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. But basically the way the exit clause works is it takes the average of the last 3 months of business, and in this example, that average ended up being $7,000 a month. And the theory here is such. If I have to do a lot of work in order to get your product up to a point where it's cranking away and making good monthly money, then if you all of a sudden decide that you want to divorce, if you want to exit, if you want to separate, if you don't want to work with me anymore, then you have to continue to pay me for a while, because I have to do a lot of work up front where I don't get paid, and you can't just stop the gravy train, just at the point where it's starting to get really juicy and kick me out of the deal. Well, I lay all of this out with my clients and partners up front, and up front is the best time to do it because they will see the logic then. So in essence, what I'm saying is that you agree up front how you're going to separate, and then when you do separate, hey, it's no big deal. You just pull out the agreement and you do the math, and each can go on his merry way. Well, that's exactly what happened here. So let's do the math. If this client was averaging $7,000 a month based on the last 3 months that we worked together, then our agreement says let's just multiply that times 12, and you can pay one lump sum of $84,000, or they have the option to just keep paying me $7,000 a month, even though I don't have to do any more work now, because again, we're separating. They would continue to pay me for a year based on the average that we had achieved when we were working together. It just makes good sense. They understood it, they had no problem with it, and they said, look, we'll be happy to just go ahead and pay you 12 months in advance, and they could go on and do what they needed to do as a corporation, and I'm left holding the money. So these deals that I'm talking about, whether you're partnering or whether you're consulting, they can be good when they're working, and they can be good when they end. I don't think there's anyone who's listening to me speak right now who would be upset if they got a check for $84,000, right? Now, remember, I'm telling you things now so that you can brainstorm your possibilities. We've talked about the concept of partnering, the concept of being a consultant and helping others with Amazon. And we're going to get into the details in future sessions. But now I want to show you some actual case studies. And again, I'd like for you to have pencil and paper in hand, and as I'm talking and as I'm showing you these real live case studies, I want you to start jotting out some ideas and connections and possibilities that come to mind. So don't just listen to this as if though I'm telling you great things I've done. I'm going to show you some specific case studies in the next 15 minutes here that hopefully will get your brain, thinking. That's what this is about. So let's look at some real live examples. And every time I show you an example, just think to yourself, maybe I could do something like that. That's why I'm showing you this. So let's talk about a few partner deals, and then in a moment I'll talk about some consulting deals. Because proven product partnering is both. All right? You can partner sometimes, or you can be a consultant sometimes. The two are very similar. The first idea and real life example was when I partnered with a niche expert. This particular niche expert had an expertise in the niche that they were in. This expert had capital. This expert had connections. And this expert had sources. And you may be thinking, well, my word, Dan, how could one person have all of this stuff together? Well, most niche experts have exactly this. They've been doing something for many years and they've developed all of this stuff, and it's just, one of the reasons they're called a niche expert. But one of the things most niche experts don't have is knowledge about how to do an Amazon business. So as soon as they discover, or as soon as you introduce yourself as a person who could take a little slice of what they're doing and put it on Amazon, boy, do their ears ever perk up. So it's not hard at all to find experts out there who have been doing something for a long time but don't know Amazon. Okay, let's think about another one, a marketing expert. All right, I actually teamed up with a well-known marketer. Now, many of you, I'm sure, are saying, well, yeah, Dan, but you're a well-known marketer. Yeah, I guess I am, but there are other marketers out there, and I teamed up with another marketer. And what did that marketer bring to the table? Well, a lot of knowledge and strategies and ideas about marketing that, when he and I would get together and start talking about marketing, it would just multiply the ideas and things that we could come up with. So sometimes you can literally go out and find another expert that, maybe they're in the same field as you. And if you're good at marketing, maybe you can find another person that's good at marketing. But the two of you together is greater than the sum of the parts. Let's take another look. A celebrity. Now, in this case, somewhat of a real celebrity. This is Dean Tornabean. He was actually one of my first partners/clients. He is a former Mr. America. And I swear, if you were to look at a picture of him next to me, I kind of look like the before picture and he's the after picture. But here's the thing about Dean. Dean actually has a doctorate in health and nutrition. And he's the former Mr. America. He does infomercials and commercials and partners with big corporations and all of that. So he is a celebrity in his own right. Well, I partnered up with him because he had a particular product that had been sitting on the shelf for a number of years and he wasn't doing anything with it. I called him up one day. In fact, I said, hey, Dean, I said, look, I'd like to take a product and put it on Amazon, and I know that you develop products all the time. I said, do you have a product that's sitting around, maybe that you were promoting last year or the year before, but you're not doing it as much anymore. You've kind of moved on to new stuff. And he says, Dan, boy, do I ever. He says, I've got a product back here. I've got several thousand of them. And I used to sell them like hotcakes, but I just kind of lost interest and moved on to other things. Yeah, they're just sitting there. I said, well, hand them over. Let me put them on Amazon and let's see what we can do with them. Okay? And if it works, then you could start making some more of these, right? In other words, the inventory you had back there, it's not just that and it's over, right? He said, oh no, we could make more of this stuff. And I said, well, let's just sell what we have back there. And it was a lot. And so I came on board and started working with that one product. But guess what? That was really part of my strategy because I knew that if I could prove to Dean that I could take one product, and in his mind this was just kind of an old dead product that had cobwebs on it. If I could take that product and make it a hit on Amazon, that he would then hand over the keys because he's got all kinds of products. And lo and behold, it took about, I'd say 6 months. But 6 months later, Dean was wanting to know if I would represent all of his products on Amazon because he wasn't selling anything on Amazon. He knew nothing about Amazon. Of course, he was a customer on Amazon, but he knew nothing about selling on Amazon. And now he sells a lot on Amazon and he's my partner or he's my client. Let's take a look at another one. I'm sure you've been to the mall sometimes and seen the Build-A-Bear stores that they have there. Well, I partnered up with the supplier to the Build-A-Bear empire. And guess what? Build-A-Bear itself is not on Amazon. I mean, here and there you might be able to find a little bit there, but by and large, they're not on Amazon. And the reason is because Build-A-Bear is a franchise. And in that particular business model, sometimes they restrict the franchisees from selling on Amazon so that they aren't competing. In other words, franchisees have territories. And sometimes selling on Amazon doesn't blend well with having franchisees who are owning territory. So that's one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of Build-A-Bear on Amazon. So I happen to have a connection that got me to the supplier, and they partnered up, and now in partnership we're selling Build a Furry Friend on Amazon. Okay, let's talk about another one. Masala Pop. This is a local business, all right? And this is a really rich area that you could tap into. In other words, within your local community, there are all kinds of businesses. And some of those businesses actually create or make products or have sources to incredible products, all right? You can approach these local businesses and strike a deal to represent these products on Amazon. So literally just walking out your front door or picking up the phone and talking to some local business owners could be one of your best resources for finding partners and clients to sell products on Amazon. Well, in this case, it was popcorn with a local business, and we put this on Amazon. Okay, I want you to think about opportunities that are right there at your back door, right in your neighborhood. The opportunity local is incredible. The next one is a magazine. This is a magazine that is for tweens or teens, and this was a magazine that is available all across the country at Walmart and CVS. You know how you go back to the little magazine rack and whatever. And I know that magazines are kind of almost becoming a relic, along with, like vinyl records and stuff of that nature. But nonetheless, there are still millions of people that read hard copy magazines. This magazine actually was trying to figure out how to raise capital. And, the traditional way for a magazine to raise capital or to have a revenue is to find sponsors and advertisers who will work with them and run ads, within the magazine. And I talked to the owner of the magazine, and I said, hey, why don't you become your own advertiser? In other words, you could set up shop on Amazon, and we could work together to create a product line that would appeal to tweens and teens, and then you could run ads in your own magazine, and I'm sure you'll give yourself a special rate. And we can drive that traffic to Amazon, which will run it up the ranks. And think about this, folks. It's leveraging things. The magazine has an existing database, an existing fan base, an existing audience. And that audience will definitely want to buy products that are advertised or recommended by the magazine, right? Well, as that database or subscriber base buys the products, it runs it up the ranks at Amazon, and then Amazon begins to supply additional customers to the product. You see, the game isn't just to tap into the customer base that the client may have, in this case a magazine. It's to use the customers or the fan base or the subscription base as rocket fuel, as to literally propel the product up the ranks at Amazon, and then once it's on the first page of the major keyword terms related to that product, then Amazon will begin to supply their customers. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, Kenny Aronoff. Kenny Aronoff, you have probably heard him. You don't know him. He's not a name that most people know, but he is one of the world's greatest drummers. And, he's reaching a point now where he's wanting to expand. go beyond just drumming. He's still very active. He was on The Voice just last week. He was on the one of the last shows of Dave Letterman. He was played at the White House just a few weeks ago. But he's reaching a point in his career where he would like to expand and do other things. And one of the things that he wants to do is to develop a line of products around who he is and sell them on Amazon. And he's partnered with me in order to do that. And, you know, if you don't know who he is, I'll give you just a little bit of a history here. He was the original drummer with John Mellencamp. He's also played with literally almost everybody that's anybody in the music space. Paul McCartney and Mick Jagger, Sting, Willie Nelson. He's played with John Fogerty of Creedence Clearwater, Ron Stewart, B.B. King. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. But this celebrity has a following. He has a fan base. He has connections. He's got a lot of stuff that I don't have. So by me partnering with him and working together, we can achieve a lot more than we can individually. Let's take a look at Kenny on Amazon. In fact, I'm going to stop for a minute and just let you listen.
Hi, I'm Kenny Aronoff. I play Evan's Head. And this is my new heavyweight snare head that I love playing in the studio and live.
Okay, well, we could listen to that forever. Actually, that was just a good excuse for me to grab a cup of water. But anyway, Kenny's a wonderful guy. He's a great partner client to work with. You know, selling products on Amazon with Kenny takes me into an area that normally, I couldn't even get into. So that's another advantage of partnering or doing consulting work, is that you can connect in with celebrities. And again, a celebrity doesn't necessarily mean a movie star. A celebrity just means that someone who has an existing database or fan following or email list, someone who's got influence over other people and can use that to help drive a product up the ranks at Amazon. Okay. Let's talk about the next opportunity. How about a school? Yeah, an elementary school. There are charter schools and public schools. Well, these schools often need to raise money. Now, this was a local school that's near me, and I got a call one day that they were interested in doing a fundraiser, and they just wanted to chat with me a little bit about, some ideas. And, I threw it out. I said, hey, if you're talking about a fundraiser, you're talking about something where you stand on the corner and you try to sell something to, people as they drive by in their cars. I mean, I don't know. I mean, some type of fundraiser, it's going to last a weekend and it's over. Why don't you do something where you can do probably about the same amount of work, only it has a much longer life? Why don't we just set up shop on Amazon and you can sell a product there and it'll just go on and on and on, because you are a celebrity in a way. You've got a database. You have students, you have teachers, you have parents and grandparents, and you have community support. And I believe they would all get behind you and the products that you, might sell on Amazon, and they'd be happy to buy from you, and that money would become just a perpetual revenue stream. It's almost like having a never-ending fundraising campaign. Now, the school is using the money to help pay off some of their bonds, and it just so happened this school was like half public and half charter, and they had private money to even invest. So yes, They invested in product. They have a product up on Amazon, and they use their influence in order to drive sales and run their products up the rank at Amazon. And then Amazon in turn provides more customers. So think about this. It could be a school, it could be an organization, anything like that, where you could work with them to set up a business on Amazon is an incredible opportunity for you to tap into a percentage of that business. They will happily pay you for this opportunity because this is something they never would have done without you. So they're not really losing money, they're making money by doing this type of a deal with you. Okay, here's another one. Think about how many blogs there are out there. Now, this is kind of a little similar to what I was talking about earlier when I talked about a niche expert, but there are some niche experts that fall, more heavily into the blog category. Well, I met one of these people who actually runs a blog about carpet cleaning, all right? And it's one of the largest blogs and forums online in this particular niche. So they are, in their own right, a celebrity, and they already have a huge following and huge influence and email list and the whole thing in this particular space. So it was very easy to work out a partnership with this niche expert to sell carpet cleaning related products because they're experts in that niche. They have the sourcing for those kinds of products, and they too can help propel a product up the ranks at Amazon, just like is the case with all of these other partner deals that I've shared with you. Pretty interesting. Know any blogs out there? Maybe you should send them an email. Kickstarter. Okay, you know about Indiegogo and Kickstarter and these various crowdsourcing type of platforms that are out there. Well, it's just a never-ending, treadmill of new products. I mean, every single day there's another product and another product and another product. And guess what they're doing there? They're putting their products and their ideas up on Kickstarter or some other crowdsourcing or crowdfunding platform in order to raise money so that they can do marketing because they're interested in selling their product. Well, hold on. Why couldn't you contact them and say, hey, I think you've got a great product, and now that you've raised some money, why don't we work together and I will represent you exclusively on Amazon? Now, this doesn't stop you from all of the other ideas and things that you had in mind when you did your campaign. You can still do all of that kind of stuff, but I'm an expert at Amazon, and I think I could produce some incredible results by working with you in that one channel. And guess what? These people have no idea what to do with Amazon. Many of them weren't even going to do Amazon. They're raising some money and they've got, they may have some knowledge about the product, but they don't know anything at all about marketing. And in their mind, they're thinking, oh, well, we could set up a website. I could do some Facebook stuff. I could do pay-per-click, whatever. And even if they did throw it up on Amazon, that's exactly all they do. They just throw it up on Amazon and hope for the best, right? Well, you can change that equation 100% for them, and they will be so happy that they found you. That's what is the truth underlying all of these partnership deals that I'm talking about. They will feel more happy and more lucky that they found you than you will that you found them. And that is the foundation of a really good partnership. And you're not asking for a lot. You're asking only to represent them in one single channel, a channel which they are very aware of but very ignorant of. They don't know how to approach it. They don't know how to optimize. They don't know how to maximize their opportunity at Amazon. And you can totally change that around for them. Would they pay you 25% for doing that? Yes. And why? because they're paying you 25% of something that they would have never had in the first place. Pretty interesting. Bird dog partners. I kind of mentioned it a few times earlier, but yes, there are people that have connections. And maybe they don't want to hands-on do Amazon. Maybe they don't have capital. Maybe they don't have inventory, but they're willing to bird dog for you. I have several bird dogs out there that just love to refer business to me. And if you have any business you want to refer it to me, great. You can be a bird dog too. But the concept is this. There are people that can just connect the dots between you and somebody else, and you just pay them in some fashion, whether it's just a one-off or a percentage or whatever you want to do. But their job is basically to find someone who has the other part of the equation, the part you're looking for, connect them up to you, you do everything after that, and they're just off bird dogging again. So bird dogs are a great thing to have, and there's a lot of people that would bird dog for you. Okay, that's partnership deals. Let's take a look at consulting deals. Okay, these are slightly different, but by and large, you're still doing the same thing, and you know, the differences are so subtle. We'll get into it a little bit in just a little while. Okay, consulting deals, and I'm just going to give you a couple of examples. There's a corporation called Inu. They have a product that's kind of like, what's that product? Ensure. When you're a senior citizen and you're trying to get additional nutrition, sometimes that's hard, and you drink a product like Ensure. Well, Inu is a much, much healthier version of that. It's a nutritional shake. And it doesn't help you lose weight. In fact, it's just the opposite. It helps you to put on weight, which is exactly what you need sometimes as a senior citizen. This is also used for people after surgery when they're trying to put on weight, or maybe you've had a lot of dental work and you can't eat as well as you should. That's what this product is. My point on this one is that this is not a product that is easy to go out and just find a source and white label it. In other words, one of the advantages of doing the proven partnering approach is the fact that you can begin to sell products on Amazon that you can't get access to easily in any other way. It's just not that type of thing. So unless you partner with a corporation or a manufacturer or an entrepreneur that's got this source, it's not going to happen. That's one of the things that I really love about doing proven product partnering. Okay, age reversal. This is a company that had been doing research for many, many years, decades, to come out with a product that was all herb-based and would help to reverse aging. And this particular corporation had patents on the product. There'd be no way that I could get into a space like this without partnering with them. So again, it kind of just underscores the fact that by partnering, you can begin to sell things on Amazon that there's no easy access to get to that type of product. And then this one, I love this corporation. This is a corporation that came out with a sponge. If you remember back when we had the Gulf oil crisis and all the oil was spewing out into the Gulf, and I'm originally from Mobile, Alabama. I live in Tucson, Arizona now, but that really, really impacted me. I wasn't living there at the time, but I just kept thinking about the great seafood and the beautiful beaches and all of the wonderful marine life, and I'm just seeing this oil go out there, and I tell you, it was just awful. Well, this company during that time developed a type of sponge that would absorb oil and grime and that kind of stuff, but it repelled water. I mean, crazy idea, but that's exactly what these sponges do. And they're all natural. I mean, there's not any adhesives in here, any glues, or it's just all natural. And so anyway, they decided they would take the technology that they had developed originally for that purpose and turn it into a consumer product. And they came out with various household sponges and things of that nature. And so I met with them and began to represent them on Amazon. And this is a very similar story to some of the others that I've shared with you. They had tried to sell on Amazon. In fact, they had like about, I can't remember, but about 20 products up on Amazon. And they weren't selling any of them. And one of the problems really was they had too many sponges. You almost needed to have a PhD in sponges to know which one to buy. You know, they had this one for that and the different sizes and different, oh, it's just nuts. And I said, you know what? You need to get rid of all of these sponges and let's just simplify the consumer's choice. Maybe have one or two choices. And so we did that, and I came up with a much better picture than they had before. And like magic, this has been an overnight success. They are currently ranked as the #1 sponge under almost every keyword that you can think of on Amazon, okay? They're on page 1 for all of their keywords. And this is because it's just such a great product, okay? We really did not have to do any fancy strategies or anything. We optimized the page well and put up great pictures, and boom, it's a hit. So there we go. These are real life case studies, real life examples. And I've shared them not to boast about what I'm doing. I'm doing a lot more than just these. I just wanted to give you a real life example in a lot of different categories, because you can structure deals where you reach out and find niche experts, marketing experts, celebrities, suppliers, local businesses, magazines and publications, musicians, schools, bloggers, people who invent products, bird dogs. You can partner with all of these people, okay? And you can also partner or consult with corporations and businesses and companies. You can do this. But here's the thing. As fantastic of a business as Amazon is, so many people seem to have blinders on. It's almost as if though you think there's one way to do this and you're just on that track and you're just going down that track, and maybe sometimes you have a bump, but you just keep going down the same track. Well, I'm not saying that you should change that. But what I'm saying is you should take the blinders off, because you can take the same knowledge that you have, the same skills that you've developed, and you can apply that knowledge and those skills to other opportunities. And you can do all of this at the same time. And instead of you getting trapped into a scenario where you don't have enough money to do the next product, or you don't have enough expertise in order to move into the next category. Instead of it being an absolute roadblock, it turns it around, flips it on its head, and through proven product partnering, you now have bigger, grander opportunities than perhaps you ever thought were available. So we're going to move on into some of the how-to next. We're going to talk about how to become an Amazon optimization consultant in our next session.